Rev up your engines! Today I'm going to talk about the least reliable vehicles of 2018. I've picked the Chevy Traverse as the 5th least reliably made car in 2018. With my own customers who bought those, some had serious transmission problems with them. More than one of them had problems with the electric door lock system not working correctly. They're just not built all that well. I had one customer who decided to buy a Traverse because they used to be now a GM fan, and they said, oh, the Suburbans were just too expensive. So they spent like $34,000 instead on their Traverse. But boy, were they disappointed with that $30-something thousand they spent. They've given up. They're never going to buy another GM product. Let's face it, you don't want to have transmission problems in a vehicle that's got 20-something thousand miles like my customer had. Now, number 4 is the Honda Clarity. It's a plug-in hybrid. Now, if you followed me, you know I'm not a hybrid fan to begin with. But really, you want a hybrid? Get a Prius. They pretty much are the master of hybrid cars. Now, yes, Honda's been making hybrid cars for quite some time too. But if you look at the sales, the Hondas just were not that popular. And my customers with them, they had many more problems than the ones that had Toyota Priuses. The Honda Clarity have had problems with the fuel emission system, with the body hardware, and with climate control systems. And since they're so complex, they are not cheap cars to repair. You can imagine what's going to happen when they get to be even older and have even more serious problems. So my advice is, stay clear of the Honda Clarity. Now, number 3 on the list is the Cadillac ATS. So here GM gets 2 of the cars in the top 5 of the worst made cars. Now, most people are buying versions of this ATS that are over $40,000. They have had so many electronic problems, especially in the fancy little dash for all the console that controls everything. You'd think for that kind of money the interactive screen would work well, but whew, I had a customer who had theirs go bad. They took it into the dealer and they replaced it, and when they drove out, it didn't work just like it did before they had taken it in. Okay, now, I'm all for technology when it works, but if you're paying that kind of money and the technology doesn't work, hey, take my advice. Buy a different vehicle. I mean, I bought touchscreen things for my customers' cars and installed them. Some of these Chinese units work quite well, and it cost maybe $250. You'd think Cadillac charging that kind of money for the vehicles could at least have screens that work. But more seriously, they've had problems with the drive system, with the drivetrain, the transmission. All in all, for the money that you're paying, I would not advise buying a Cadillac ATS. I've had 2 personal customers that bought ATSs, and they told me I will never buy another Cadillac product again, so that pretty much says it all. Now, number 2 on the list of least reliable cars, the Tesla Model X. The most expensive one too, because they start at about $85,000. Okay, it's an all-electric car, but they have problems with the in-car electronics. You'd think that they'd have that ironed out. But the main complaints that people have with them is they have noises, they have leaks, problems with the body hardware. They're just not manufactured all that well. I've checked them out and found that the body panels didn't fit all that well. One side would have a bigger gap than the other side. I mean, that's just poor manufacturing quality. Fascinating technology in the Teslas, I'm not going to argue that. But when you're in that astronomical price range of pushing to 100 grand, compare other cars, their fit and their ride is much better than the Tesla is. People who spend that kind of money on a car expect a smooth, quiet, no noise situation. But these things are rattling, the body parts aren't fitting right. You don't expect that out of a car that's almost $100,000. I mean, really. I paid $4 grand for this used Lexus, and it's still quiet as can be. See, I could buy what, 25 of these for one of those? Now here comes the moment you've all been waiting for. What is the least reliable one? Well, guess what? Da-da-da! It's a Dodge Fiat Chrysler, the 3500 Ram. Well, if you ask me, it's only fitting that a Chrysler product is the top of the list. Because, hey, historically, they've made lots of problems. My grandfather didn't even like Dodge products when he was young, and he was a mechanic long before me. And they just seem to continue to go along the lines of making vehicles that have problems and fall apart long before they should. From minor things like cheaply made dashboards that crack and fall apart, to more serious things like automatic transmissions that go out when they have 40,000 miles on them, and engine cooling problems, fuel system leaks, suspension problems like ball joints going bad. The list goes on and on for the Ram. Because if you ask me, when Fiat bought Chrysler, that was akin to Sears and Kmart merging. Two wrongs don't make a right in my book. You can see how well the Sears Kmart merger went. They're closing stores all over the place. And with Fiat and Chrysler, hey, the quality of Chrysler certainly hasn't gone up. It wasn't that great to begin with, but hey, it's going down relatively rapid as far as I'm concerned. So now you've been warned of some of the bad cars out there that you might think twice before you plop down your hard-earned money, because even though I'm a mechanic, hey, I'm also a consumer myself. I hate buying the wrong vehicle, and I hate having customers with the wrong vehicle too. There's plenty of things that are normally going to wear out over time for me to keep busy with. I don't need cheaply made cars coming in here when they aren't very old with problems that shouldn't happen until they have 100 or 150,000 miles on them. So if you never want to miss another one of my new car repair videos, remember to ring that bell.